Hi and welcome to my channel. I am Josefine or Josefine. You can call me whatever you want. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're having a good day. And I hope life is treating you good. If not, I'm sending positive vibes. Anyway, today's video, I decided to read Colleen Hoover for a week. Just Colleen Hoover books for a week. I ended up reading 3 books, and also I had to take a healthy decision that if I read more, my mental state would kind of plummet. So yeah, but I ended up reading 3 books, which are Confess, November 9, and It Starts With Us. Anyway, let us just jump straight into the video. Okay, is that more cozy? I just have to have my fireplace. It just adds to the vibe. I thought it was only appropriate for me to start with It Starts With Us, because I've read It Ends With Us, and this is the newest book. And weird enough, I haven't heard so many reviews about this book yet, even though I know it's been a long-awaited and very, very popular. It Starts With Us. Let's go. Okay, so I am 114 pages in, where I have just reached chapter 13, and so far, I wouldn't say I love the book, but I don't hate it. It's kind of like in the middle. I don't mind it. I find it quite easy to read. It was a few instances in the beginning where I felt it was a little bit too unrealistic, or you kind of feel like, ooh, like that wouldn't happen, and it starts feeling cringy. When stuff like that happens, I always fall off a little bit. I can't for the life of me use a lighter. Oh, that was not good. Got it. I bought a new candle. It's apple and cinnamon scented, so I felt like it was time for the holiday vibes. Is that cute? Can you see it? Ah, you can see it. Okay, that's cute. I am on page 170 or chapter 19. Spoiler. We have just figured out that Atlas has a brother, and I don't like it. It feels very rushed, or like, I don't know, yeah. Like the Atlas brother situation, like it really didn't bring anything to the book. Let's keep going. Okay, so I am finished. It Starts With Us. I'm done. Done, so finito. That chapter is closed. I have a lot of opinions and thoughts about the book, but I don't know where to start. So I think what I will do is I will talk about it tomorrow, because I think it's going to be a long one. I think it's going to be a long conversation, because I have a lot to say. It Starts With Us, the most anticipated book talk book of the year. When this launched, I think I have never seen one book so many times on my For You page. It was a book for the book talk community that wanted more of Atlas, and just more of Atlas and Lily together, basically. It is their happy ending. In my opinion, this book could have just been 2 or 3 chapters in It Ends With Us. You didn't need a whole book for it. If you are into Atlas and Lily, I believe you would love it. The more critical side of this, or my critical thinking, is this book is very flat. We get introduced that Atlas has a brother because his mom calls him out of nowhere, and it's like, I have a problem, I lost my son, he's been gone for 2 weeks, he's 12 years old. Yeah, and Atlas finds him. As Atlas, Josh has grown up in the same abusive family and all of that, so he's also kind of like hurt by it and affected by it. His mother isn't so good, so Josh stays with Atlas, and I like the relationship, but I wish it was its own book, or a short novel between It Ends With Us and It Starts With Us. Because Josh has grown up believing that Atlas left home because he didn't want anything to do with Josh. So Josh has kind of grown in anger towards Atlas, I really wished we could have elaborated more on that and really got into the story and like the journey to the relationship, because I can believe if you have been living or been told by your mother who is abusive and you grew up in a really unhealthy household that your brother left because he didn't want to have a brother. So he left you there alone in that hell house basically to go and live a better life. I would have felt so alone. I would never in a million years, just in 1 week, have completely turned my thoughts around as to why my brother left me, if that was me. I really wish that story was told in its own book, so we could really get to know Atlas' story and Josh's story, how that really affects you growing up in such an abusive home, and how that really molds you as a person. And that's something I really missed and wished we got, was more of a character development, because he has such an interesting backstory, because I really would have enjoyed that. For Lily, she's basically the same. Nothing really changes. But yeah, Ryle, and it ends with us. He wants to get better, he wants his best for his daughter and Lily. That somehow seems to be forgotten in this book, because in this book, Ryle is so much more aggressive than in It Ends With Us. This aggressive, yeah, pure aggressiveness. And he isn't in the book a lot, so every time we meet him, he's just aggressive. My favorite person in the book, I adore this kid. Theo talks like he's at least 50. So that he's 12 is hard to remember when you're reading the book, because like the way he's talking is like his one-liners, I can't. He's basically just mocking Atlas for saying, finally you have reached the shore. I have marked under all of them because I'm going to steal some of them, 100%. I'm going to read a few of them so you get the feeling. 1, you finally reached the beach, my little whale. Look, it's sand. We have reached land. Lily, what the heck? Our boat is wrecked. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. I really think this is a really good example of how you get affected by being in abusive relationships. In one scene, basically, Atlas and Lily is getting ready to go for a wedding. And Atlas sees Lily's tattoo, the heart tattoo where he likes to kiss her. She has a scar on it because Ryle bit her there. So Atlas gets a little bit angry because he finds it sad. Every time she looks at that tattoo, she's going to remember Ryle and the bad memories. So he gets angry and he gets out of the room, and Lily gets very insecure because she's like, what is this change of demeanor? And is on the verge of crying. She's like, why? What have I done wrong? What did I do? And she gets out of her room and Atlas is standing there and smiling and all of that. And she's like, what happened? Why did you just change demeanor? And he tells her that he feels angry because of that tattoo. Not at her for the tattoo, but at Ryle for what he have done to her. And I felt like it was such an important scene because it really shows the emotions and thoughts that are still stuck in your head when you move on. But I just want to read the last line here. They get married. Like, that's no secret. Atlas and Lily gets married, and by Theo's idea, Atlas should write, "It's my wish for you to be my fish," on his vows. And he did. That is, it starts with us. I think I've gotten all the points. Let me check here. It was a confrontation between Atlas and Ryle. I think I have never seen a more disappointing confrontation than that. And nothing happened. Atlas just got punched in the face, but like nothing happened. Like nothing at all. Disappointing. I expected so much more than that. I don't think It Starts With Us wasn't prepared. It wasn't thought about. And you can see it because every part of It Ends With Us and It Starts With Us wasn't made to be a series. I didn't really necessarily think It Starts With Us had to be a book. I think we could have done just fine without it. So for me as a critical reader and thinker, I would give it a 2. 2 star. I'm going to give it a 5 star. If you wanted more of Atlas, wanted more of Lily, wanted more of their story and development and all of that, I'm going to give it a 5 star for that. Because it did exactly that. It delivered where it was meant to deliver. So that was It Starts With Us. But it was an easy read. Okay, I feel like that was such a long talk, but I had a lot to say about that one. It's November 9th. I thought it only was appropriate to start November 9th. When I tell you, I've seen this all over TikTok today. People reading this book or using the sound of November 9th. So I was like, at least I'm not alone in reading it on November 9th. Not that I thought I would be alone. But anyway, I'm quite excited to read it. And I also, while I'm sitting here, I got some book mail. I got 2 new books, and one is a Colleen Hoover book. I ordered Just Kids by Patti Smith and Confess. Yeah. Let's read it. I'm only 32 pages in, and so far it is kind of weird. Yeah, I'm interested. I'm hooked. I don't like that father at all. Oh my god, I would have gone off if that was me. Gone off, like, oh. I will read some more and see where it goes from there. Right now, they are sitting on a bench eating ice cream. I will update you soon again, or mostly tomorrow. Okay, so I am on page 155. I just cringed very hard. Our lovely boy, or our dreamy Ben, just said, "The only sea I saw was the seesaw sea, with you riding on it. Lie down, lie easy, let me shipwreck in your thighs." Oh, I think I just turned red by reading that, because if someone told me that, I don't know if I should be impressed by the poetic speaking language or the poetic way of seducing, I don't know, or if I should just cringe and be like, huh, no shipwreck is going down between my thighs. I'm not the harbor. So far I'm on the 2nd day or the 2nd year, and Kyle has passed away, sadly, but Tate and Miles from Ugly Love have showed up. That's cute, and they are pregnant. What more can I report on? I think I found a reference to It Ends With Us, because Ben found a spot on Fallon between her shoulder and neck, and he pressed his lips against that very spot. And I think that's the same spot Atlas kissed Lily. That's how far I have gotten in the reading process. I will read a little bit more, and then I will update you, or update if something more happens. Keep on reading. I finished it, and the twist, I did not see that coming, and my jaw literally dropped to the floor when I read it. But I loved it. The only thing I'm sad about is that Fallon did not get to perform on Broadway. Just an off-Broadway show, but like not on Broadway. I was rooting for her, for our Broadway dream. And there were a few quotes that I really enjoyed as well. You will never be able to find yourself if you're lost in someone else. And I think it's so true. But yeah, that is what I'm thinking about it so far. But I'm done. November 9. I devoured this book. Every time I heard Fallon, all I could think about was Jimmy Fallon. I had a hard time imagining an 18-year-old girl. All I saw was just Jimmy Fallon. So that was my fault. I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Colleen Hoover's writing is very easy to follow, and her books or novels are short, so you can finish them in one day or maybe 2. They're super easy to read. Let me just get into this. I've written all this down on my computer because I have thoughts about here. For entertainment reasons, I'm going to say this. I was excited for this book and it was a wild ride. I did enjoy it. It was easy to read and I was like shocked because I was like thrown left and right with my emotions, like, oh my god, miscommunication is really annoying me because I just like communicate. And Colleen Hoover, her first liners or her first page is hooking you on. It's like grabbing you on and just telling you to sit down, shut the fuck up and just read, because something so traumatic happens where you're like, oh my god, my brain is getting a shock because I didn't expect this, but I have to read more to find out about it. And then all of a sudden you have read the whole entire book. She's really good at it because at the first page I was like, what is this book about? Who is getting murdered? Who is going to get killed? So I'll give her credit where credit is due there. There was a plot twist. I did not see the plot twist and I was shocked because it just happened so out of nowhere. It was just sprinkled in there. Like, I just did not expect it. I was just reading and all of a sudden it stood. Does she have any idea that you're the one who started that fire? You are the reason she almost died. And I was like, oh, you were what? Like, you caused that to her? And also I think like, how did I not expect it? Because like I should have, but I just didn't, and that messed with my head so much because I was like, you, what? And also sidetrack. I tried to Goodreads because I wondered if she was more than just a YN writer, because I would categorize her as erotica. It's nothing wrong with that at all, but I just find it so funny that in all of her books, lovemaking is just such a big factor that I was like, she must be into some erotica or something. On the Goodreads page it stands like erotica, maybe something like that, and I was like, okay, it makes sense. Out of all the books I read from her, I still can't tell you which scene is my favorite though, because she has some good ones and some ones that are like, oh god, what is this dialogue? But anyway, over to my critical thinking. I found Ben highly problematic. When I was done with the book, I was in such a high, and maybe because it was 3 o'clock at night, but I was like, oh my god, this is so good. Wow, this must be my favorite book from her and all that, because like, it's so good. Yeah, but when I started thinking about it, he's problematic. First of all, first scene, or the second scene with Ben and Fallon, he sat on the booth behind them. He overheard the conversation between Fallon and her father, and he decides that he should just slide over to her booth and just pretend he's her fake boyfriend, right? He doesn't ask for consent. He's like all touchy like, haha, boyfriend. And she's like, what the heck? Even in the book, it's stated that she's scared. She's like, what the fuck? But he's like, it's fine, play along. I would be like, fuck no. But again, that's just my opinion. Also, he said multiple times that he just wanted to know what color her panties were. And for me, that is also, in other words, he just wanted to get laid with her. Another instance, Ben and Fallon is not on really good terms. Fallon is at a bar with a boy she's dating basically, and she meets Ben and they go out to this corridor and he starts to be a little bit touchy and they basically kiss and she tells him, stop. And he starts to kind of like get down there in her panties and he whispers, I'm trying. And he grips the nape of her neck and says, ask me again. She said stop. I kind of would have stopped, you know, and especially after if you say ask again, I would kind of like given her the opportunity to at least have some time to ask again. Also, my other point, why he's problematic. He also in one point in the book says, I have never used physical force on a girl before, but I want to push her to the ground and hold her there until the cab drives away. And other thing he does, he gets together with his dead brother's widow because Kyle passes away in a car crash, which I found out right now, Colleen has a thing for car crashes, because it has happened in 4 out of the 6 books that I've read. But anyway, he gets together with his dead brother widow, because that girl had a baby. I don't know why I find that kind of weird. When you have a kid and that kid's mom and uncle gets together, so the uncle becomes his stepfather. Does that make sense? I don't know, I just find it weird. And spoiler, we can't forget, he actually set her house on fire. I know he was angry, even though it only was meant to be the car that got caught on fire and the whole entire house went up in flames. He didn't plan to set everything on fire, it just kind of happened. Like, Shouldn't that be a warning sign? Also, something I have noticed with Coho books is it is mainly about a girl who is in need of savior of some sort. Either if it's confidence boost, money, or a job. And it's often young girls and a man who we see as like dreamy, but it's basically like the bare minimum of standards. So that's what I have seen so far. If you want to read her books, you almost have to read it in an point of view kind of way, or in the way like, you know, on TikTok when you get those like POV, because it almost makes more sense. To me at least. Yeah, that was November 9. I would give it a 4 for entertainment reasons. With critical thinking, I think I would give it a 3. I feel bad that I gave It Starts With Us 2. I'm going to switch them. It Starts With Us gets a 3 and November 9 gets a 2 stars. But anyway, let's move on. I got some book mail and I thought I would just open it with you. Cause why not? If I can open it though. So I bought 2 new books, Truly Devious, and I bought Everything I Never Told You. Let's get to reading. Okay, so I took a little break, but I'm back on it, and I'm on page 74. And I just hope for the love of God they're not siblings. No, like that is too much for me. But so far, I actually really enjoyed the book. I really enjoyed the confessions. Or the one with the mother. Maybe it would be better if I were dead instead of his mother. Or the one with the father of the girl who had, with him. And she was now in her 30s and she still was too scared to say no. That one broke me. It's interesting to see also how the love interests are like keeping a secret from the girly pop we know. I hope for the love of God they're not siblings or he has done something very bad. You know, like in the last book, in November 9th, the beautiful love interest had just set fire to his love interest's house. But so far I also really enjoy that it is included paintings. I don't know who has painted these or drawn them. Probably should figure that out because I really like them. Wait, let me see here. Oh, the artwork is by Danny O'Connor, aka Doc. Ah, I like that. I'm going to look him up after because I really like his artwork. I will continue and update you more. Okay, so I have reached page 176 and so much is happening. First of all, Owen has admitted to Auburn that he's addicted or at least have done some drugs, but also I don't think I mentioned it here, but I did write down, I feel proud of myself, or I just read way too much Colleen Hoover, but I wrote down on page 132 that I thought Owen's dad had somehow been involved in a car accident that might have killed Owen's mom and brother, but it was revealed that indeed it had happened a car accident, but Owen was driving and the mother and the brother got killed. The father ended up in a coma. But also, Trey, I had a very bad feeling about Trey the first time he got introduced. But I will continue and then I will update you some more. I have reached part 2 and I can't handle Trey. Like, I would have punched him as well. So I don't judge Owen at all. But anywho, I'm still wondering, like, what is the connection between Owen and Auburn? Because they have met before, but Auburn doesn't know it. And neither do I at the moment, but I really want to know it. But I'm on part 2. So, let's go. And I thought Ryle was bad. He was, but I would have murdered Trey in a moment, in an instant. I'm on page 253, by the way, so okay. Okay, so it's done, and wow. The last few pages, or the pages from 5 years ago, oh my god, I'm gonna cry again. That broke me. But Yeah. Oh, I gotta stop reading at night. The clock is 1:30 a.m. I think. I think this is actually one of the best books I have read so far from Colleen Hoover. But yeah, I could have murdered him. Trey just triggered me in every way possible, and I thought I was about to murder a fictional character. Confess is done, and I am starting to question how I am mentally doing. Yeah. How are you doing, camera? It looks like you're struggling like me. Okay, my battery is dying. By now, I will just go to bed. Confess. And to be honest with you, I really don't have a lot to say about it because I really enjoyed it. It's actually my favorite book so far. And yeah, because I really liked Owen, and also I love how art was incorporated into this book with paintings. Or pictures are incorporated in the book, and also real confessions. Some of the confessions were heartbreaking and kind of scary. I absolutely adored the ending. I also adored yeah, I just adore the ending. This is my favorite book so far that I have read from Coho. So these are the 3 books that I have read this week. And I have read 3 more, just so you know that from beforehand. And I think if you want more of my opinions on these two books, I do have a book talk. I'm going to link it down below where you can see and just hear a tiny little review of what I thought about them when I was done with them. Okay, so that is the end of the video. I never thought it would end. It was a long one, but thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and you're also very welcome to comment down below your opinions on these books, and or if you have a favorite Colleen Hoover book. I hope you enjoyed the video, and like and subscribe if you want to see more of these reading vlogs or just more book videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!